Mike Huckabee is going to run for president, so he released a silly video teasing his campaign. Let's watch.
On his first day in office, Governor Huckabee's door was nailed shut. It was in Bill Clinton's Arkansas. You had huge Democratic majorities in the House, in the Senate. You had all of the apparatus of the Democratic Party aligned against Mike Huckabee, and all of a sudden, this Republican comes out of nowhere and wins.
Every day of my life in politics was a fight, and sometimes it was an intense one. But any drunken redneck can walk into a bar and start a fight. A leader only starts a fight that he's prepared to finish. As governor of Arkansas, I cut taxes and welfare, balanced the budget every year for 10 years, and raised average family income by 50%. We didn't slash, burn, hurt people, leave people impoverished. We empowered people to live a better life. I'm not a Republican because I grew up rich. I'm a Republican because I didn't want to spend the rest of my life poor, waiting for the government to rescue me. One thing that has to happen in America is moving the power away from Washington, where people are so disconnected from the way that so many ordinary Americans live. It's a disaster. Power needs to be local and limited, because the closer government is to the people, the more accountable it is to the people who are being governed. Instead of fighting over the minimum wage, I'm going to focus on solutions to help every American earn his or her maximum wage. I'll protect Social Security and Medicare. Washington has done enough lying and stealing. I'll never rob seniors of what our government promised them and even force them to pay for. And I'll lead with moral clarity in a dangerous world. There's a difference between right and wrong. There's a difference between good and evil. I'll keep all the options on the table in order to defeat the evil forces of radical Islam. We believe in some things. We stand by those things. We live or die by those things. Let's win the fight for what matters most.
All right, first of all, let's just keep it real about the way that politics works in America. It is the most ridiculous system, the most ridiculous dance that they all do, where they're like, you know, I'm considering running, but I'm not sure if I'm going to run. No, I've met with some people, and they think that maybe it's a good idea that I run. And this is like over weeks and months and just a long time span. Everybody does it. The Democrats, the Republicans, they're like, you know, if I do run, what I'll do is all these things. They're fucking flying to Iowa, where the first caucus is. They're flying all. I'm in New Hampshire today. Who knows why? Gosh, I'm not sure. And they just, it's so stupid. It's like, we're adults. Stop, like, looking down at us and treating us like children. Like, we already know you're fucking running. We've known that you're going to run for the longest time. But instead, they release shit like this. And they're like, why am I releasing this video? I don't know. Am I running? I haven't announced yet. You can't be sure yet. We know you're running, asshole. Stop with a teaser video. And how many people were, like, sitting around going, you know, gosh, I really want Mike Huckabee to run. I hope he releases a teaser video. You're not a movie, dipshit. All right? You're not X-Men. You don't get to release a trailer. We're not, like, excited. Oh, Huckabee gonna run. I wonder how much he'll weigh this time around. Come on, man. It's so, you know what it is? Here's why I hate it. It's so self-absorbed. You know? It's so narcissistic. It's like the whole idea, if you get into politics, your whole line of thinking should be, how do I help the American people? What are the policies I'm in favor of? I want to give you substance. This is what I'm focused on. It's not about me. It's about my ideas, which I think are in line with the American people and I think will help the country. But now, like, that's out the window. Now, and look, that video perfectly shows it, how you have dramatic music in the background. Mike Huckabee is the greatest, vote for him. Oh, but he's not running, I don't know yet for sure. Oh, come on with the dramatic music. Then they got the personal story. Notice, they always got to kick it off with a personal story. You can never treat the American people like adults and say, hey, look, here's some statistics about poverty. I want to make that better. Here's my plan to make it better. He's like, when I came into power in Arkansas, the big bad Democrats ran everything. It was Bill Clinton's Arkansas. Oh, the evil Democrats. Oh, the bad guys. You see, you know, they're showing the charts like, oh, this is how many Democrats there were with the pictures of the fucking blue side of the Arkansas Senate. So they have that. They have, and he's like, I'm standing up to the establishment. I'm so strong. No, Mike Huckabee, you are the establishment. You just had, how much money did you make on your Fox News show, asshole? Millions of dollars. You were doing a Fox News show. You ran for president and did pretty well the last time around. You took money from all these big money donors, and this guy's actually like, I'm going to stand up for the little guy. I'm Mike Huckabee. Now, you're not standing up. You are the big guy. You are the establishment. This idea of like, I'm helping out the common man. Then he goes, awesome straw man argument from one of his old speeches. I'm a Republican because I don't want the government to rescue me. As if what? That's what the Democrats are arguing. You know, guys, we think the government should rescue everybody from every problem ever. No, the Democrats just believe in smart, efficient government, and they believe in equal opportunity. So they don't want to, for example, cut food stamps and make little kids go hungry. They want to make sure that we give people health care, for example. But Mike Huckabee reframes that and does a straw man and says, I don't want the government to rescue me from everything. So in other words, the Democrats do. The Democrats want to, make government the answer to everything, when of course they don't. And then he hits us with the classic stupid argument, which I can't believe the Republicans are still making, because it really is one of the silliest arguments I've ever heard. I'm not going to argue about the minimum wage. Okay, well, you just put a middle finger up to 80% of the American people, including a majority of Republicans, because they do say that they want you to argue about the minimum wage. 80% are on the side of raising it, so you're against the American people there. But he says, I want to try to let everybody make their maximum wage. That's such a cliche and a platitude and just a stupid thing to say, because let's live in the real world for a second. Get your head out of your ass. Get your head out of the rainbows and clouds and everything, and just think about this. Is there ever going to be a scenario where everybody's making upper middle class money or even middle class money? Is there ever going to be a scenario? No, not possible. Not the way the capitalist system works. It's just not going to happen. There's always going to be people making a minimum wage, even if they're busting their ass, and even if they're trying to rise through the ranks. Some people are going to have to do the minimum wage jobs, and they're going to keep doing them, and they're going to be paid less than a living wage. So those people are always going to exist. Even if we lived in a world where everybody woke up and said, I'm going to work my hardest today and get that promotion, not everybody can get the promotion because not everybody can own the company. You need workers too. So we live in a world where you need those people. So then the question just becomes, well, should we pay them enough to survive? Yes or no? And idiots like Mike Huckabee say, no, I don't care about the minimum wage because maximum wage. But that doesn't mean anything. You're just using words. That's not a policy answer. What does that mean? What are you going to pass a bill that says everybody makes maximum wage? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. Well, all you're doing is you're saying fuck you to people who make minimum wage and saying I don't care about you. It's not. Pull yourself up by your own fucking bootstraps is what you're saying. But like I just argued and like I just explained, even if everybody did say I'm going to work as hard as I can and get that promotion, not everybody can get it. So there's always going to be somebody making minimum wage, and they should make enough to survive. And Mike Huckabee says, no, I'm not going to fight on that issue. And then, of course, so you have one enemy in this ad, the Democrats. Big bad Bill Clinton's Arkansas, Democrats. And then you have at the end, he had to do it because he's a Republican. He had to do it. Throws in some ISIS footage and says, I'll keep every option on the table. Every option, right. So that's a wink and a nod to us strong Republicans will nuke a motherfucker. The Democrats won't, but we believe in killing hundreds of thousands of people. Vote for us. And also, these guys always frame it as if, we're the strong guys, they're the pussies, talking about the Democrats and Obama. Except it was President Obama who got Osama bin Laden. It was President Obama who got Gaddafi. It's President Obama who, unfortunately, continued the drone program. And right now we're involved in 6 different countries militarily: Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia. So you're acting like, we'll be strong and these guys are weak. But they're unfortunately, they are really militaristic. I wish they were much less militaristic, because in my mind, that's actual strength. So, what's the overall takeaway from this, man? Here's the main takeaway. Naive idiots are going to eat this up because of all the negative things I just explained. So, you're run-of-the-mill Republican in Kentucky or wherever. I keep picking on Kentucky. I don't mean it, guys. I love you. Just pick another red state. I don't give a fuck. Another in North Dakota. There's only like 8 people there, and they're like, hey, man, that's fucked up. That's not how people in North Dakota talk. But nonetheless, they're going to eat this up. Your Republican base is going to go, oh, I had dramatic music, and it made me feel a certain way in my pants. But here's the thing about Mike Huckabee that's a roadblock to him. Real people hate it. Millennials hate Mike Huckabee. Even Republican millennials. A majority of Republican millennials are now for gay marriage. They look at a guy like Mike Huckabee like, dude, you make us all look stupid. You make Republicans look stupid because you're so conservative on social issues and you're just so backwards and from 1952. That, like, here's a guy who his corniness is his asset to the older, white, really far right-wing base, but it's also the detriment to the younger, more libertarian-leaning Republicans. So overall, it's a long shot for him. He's become more and more extreme as time has gone by. But the only reason why I'm not totally ruling him out, he is a very big long shot, don't get me wrong, but the only reason why I'm not totally ruling him out is that he did really well in 2008. I think he was the second to last one to drop out. So he got pretty far in that Republican primary, and if he has the right strategy, he's a serious contender. I don't think he has the right strategy, but if he starts doing the right strategy, he's a serious contender. And you saw only a little sprinkle of a proper strategy in there during that ad. Did you catch it? What he said about Social Security and Medicare. What he said about that is much more intelligent than the other Republicans are going to be. Because the other Republicans are too much caught on this, like, cut. The American people don't want programs that are really good to them and actually they like, according to the polls. See, but Mike Huckabee does. He's smart enough to say, look, I may privatize it later if I actually get control, but right now I'll pretend like, oh, I'm all for it and I love Medicare and Social Security. And that's something that is going to appeal to everybody. So it's almost like you got to hope that Mike Huckabee falls further into the trap of being a bigger right-wing douche and running a further right-wing campaign, because if he does that, then he has a worse chance of winning. If you hear more of that kind of stuff, like, oh, I'm for Medicare and Social Security, then he's upping his chances. But overall, you got a sense of the ad right there. Mike Huckabee being classic, over-the-top Mike Huckabee.